I'm very happy with this. I'm really thinking of making a blue one because I have some of this fabric left that I would like to make pants or a skirt for myself. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariette, also known as the Boervrou, and this is episode 32 of the Crafty Stitches Podcast. Today that I'm recording this is Sunday the 5th of March 2023 and I'm coming to you from South Africa. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, and if you're new here, I hope that you will enjoy this content. So I brought myself a little bit of cold ginger tea to drink, and I hope that you have something to drink and so that we can have a little crafty chat. So today I have one finished object, a half finished object, and some works in progress. So, my first finished object is my Riika top that I've been knitting over the past 2 or 3 podcast episodes. I've been wearing it all morning, so it is a little bit wrinkly. And I am very, very happy with how this one came out. I made this with the L Cotton's 4-ply yarn. It is 156 meters on 100 gram, and it's 156 meters on 50 grams, and it is 100% cotton in the colorway lilac. And this yarn is reused. I first knit the waving lace top out of it, and then I frocked it and knitted this top with it. So I used the recommended needle sizes in this pattern, which was a 3mm for the body and a 2.5mm for the ribbings. My gauge was not exactly the same. I did knit a gauge swatch. As you can see, it was not long enough, so I couldn't really get a proper row gauge, but it didn't bother me because I usually just worry a lot about the stitch gauge, but in this instance I should have thought about the row gauge as well, but never mind. So on this swatch, for the pattern suggestion, it says that the gauge for the ribbing section should be 30 stitches by 40 rows. So my swatch, if I measure my swatch, I get 28 stitches on the ribbing, but obviously I can't properly measure the rows. On my top, if I measure the top gauge, I get 26 stitches by 36 rows. But anyway, it still worked, so I'm not discouraged or anything. It did work. In my opinion, for this top, a little bit bigger is better than too small. But anyway, so for this one I used 270 grams, which is approximately 843 meters. As you can see, I did make some modifications underneath the arm there. It's not supposed to look like that. So because my row gauge was off with 4 rows per 10 centimeters, It did happen that the armhole depth was too deep. I know in the pattern it already shows that it is quite deep, but it was too much. My armhole was open until there. So what I did is I just sewed this up there, and yeah, it worked out fine. I was very lucky. What I should have done is made sure that my row gauge is correct, because then this wouldn't have been so low. But I made a plan with this one and it worked out in the end. I'm very happy with this end result. I've already worn it 2 days after each other to see how the cotton holds up in stretching, but this gauge seems to be fine. It seems to be do not stretch out too much. What else is there that I wanted to say about this project? I also did not pick up the recommended amount of stitches for the ribbing. I think it was recommended differently where the knitting is slanting. Is that the right word? What did it say? Yes, it suggested a different pickup ratio for the slanting pieces, but I did not do that. I picked up 1 stitch in every stitch basically. So in the ribbing sides where it is going slanting to the side, I would have picked up 3 stitches for every 3 stitches worked in the ribbing. So that worked out fine. I'm very happy that I did that. I did that in the neckline, and then I changed the bind off as well. So I think the pattern calls for a tubular bind off, and I did Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy bind off for my bind off. And then because this is 1x1 ribbing, I also knit the ribbing inside out. So what I did is I picked up the stitches on the right side of the fabric, and then I knit 1 round of ribbing with the right side facing me, and then I turned around and I did a German short row stitch, and then I knit in the opposite direction with the outside of the fabric inside and the outside of the top facing me, and I also bound off inside out. I did it for all the ribbings, the ribbing at the neck, the armholes, and also here at the bottom, because I do feel that my 1x1 ribbing, the back of my 1x1 ribbing is looking neater to me than the front of my 1x1 ribbing. I'm very happy with this. I'm really thinking of making a blue one, because I have some of this fabric left that I would like to make pants or a skirt for myself, and I'm thinking of making a light blue version to go with this piece that is still in my future that I would like to make. Alright, I think that is everything about this finished project, and I think I'm going to move over to the works in progress of what things are on my needles, on my hook, and I will share my half finished object with you there. Right, I'm sure you guessed it. My half finished object is my first sock for the Candy Cane Stripes socks by the Crazy Sock Lady, and this is it. I've been at this little progress keeper, the stitch marker that I'm using as a progress keeper from Annegret from Pincushion Crafts, and then I finished the leg and bound off the sock. The pattern is written for cuff down, but I made it toe up with my own heel flap and gusset construction. And yes. So if you have been watching the podcast before, you would know that I had a problem with this sock, that I finished the leg and the sock did not fit. I couldn't get the leg over my heel. So I did use the recommended needle sizes in the pattern, which recommends a 2.25mm needle for the stocking stitch part and a 2.5mm for the color work. So what I learned with this whole process is that I like a very tight fitting, snug sock, and color work does not stretch that much. It does stretch, but it only have so much stretch, much less than normal stocking stitch fabric. I mean, that is the most I can pull it, and this, I mean, I can pull it quite a bit. But anyway, so what I did is I knit the foot. This part is actually fine. It is this part that needs to go over my heel that was the problem. So I ripped it back and I put my needle back just after I did the heel, and I made one round of increases, and I increased with 8 stitches to go one size up in the pattern, and then I redid the leg and I fitted, and it fits over my heel very nicely. So then I did one round of decreases again, and I decreased those 8 stitches out so that my cuff can be gripping around my leg good enough, as I'm used to. And I then did a 2x2 ripped cuff and Jenny surprisingly stretchy bind off in 3.25mm needles for the bind off. I think that is everything that I did for this sock. So I am knitting these socks with mainly Knotty Habit Kaiso base yarns. This is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It's a 3-ply fingering weight, and it has 366 meters on 100 grams. So the only yarn that is not a Knotty Habit yarn is this color, and this is the Cowgirl Blues Proper Sock in the colorway Guinea Fowl. The rest is all Knotty Habit yarns, and there you can see them all together, hopefully. Alright, so that is my first sock. I'm just going to take out this progress keeper, and then I started my second sock. I did in the meantime get myself a 2.5mm 9-inch circular needle, and I must say I enjoy that a little bit better. So this is my second sock. I'm about 4 rounds away from starting the heel. I'm still on my gusset, so let me just add this stitch marker to keep the progress for us. Loving this beautifully colorful marker. I'm just using the one from the other sock. Yes, so I'm currently knitting on the 2.25mm needles until I'm finished with the heel, and then I will increase those stitches again for the sock leg and then knit the sock. I'm really enjoying this. I'm trying to get this one done before I cast on more socks because I have some plans. I went through all of my yarn and my sock yarn, and I decided what I'm going to cast on next. So the next pair will be most probably for my husband, and I have some things brewing in my head that I want to get on the needles and see how that looks. So I shall show you when I get to that point. Alright, that is my first work in progress, and then my second work in progress is still my Ember shawl. It has grown a little bit. It is a little bit of a slower project, it feels to me, but the rows are getting longer, and as I said in my previous episode, that I really have to focus on this. I actually cannot watch anything while doing this because I just make mistakes. So this is my calm down project type of thing. So I sit and I count and forget about the rest of the world. So this is the progress so far for this one. I'm still busy with section 2. In the previous episode I was at that beautiful birdie, which is also a stitch marker by Annegret from Pincushion Crafts. Let me just move that. So I didn't do much. Did 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like five rows. But yes, I'm really enjoying the shawl. I think it's going to be nice and squishy for the cooler days that are coming. So this yarn is Miss Lamotte. It is her 100% superwash merino wool, 360 meters on 100 grams. It is a single strand and it is called Midnight. Yes, so I am now at the point in the shawl where it says that we are going to increase at 3 points. So that little silver, the silver light bulb markers is the points of increase, I think. Yes. So I'm looking forward to see how this one grows. I am using a 4mm hook. Yes, I'm using a 4mm hook, and it is these Clover crochet hooks. It's my absolute favorite hooks. Since I bought them, I don't use anything else. It's just this or nothing else. Yes, that is my second project, and I don't think I have anything else to say about it. I think that is it. Alright, and then that is all of the projects that I have been working on, apart from my scrappy projects, which is not shown in the podcast. If you want to see those, you can watch the Scrappy Sunday chats that I am hosting with my friend Leanie from Independence Yarn Craft. So I've been working on those, and yeah, I made a few swatches, I've got a few plans, and I just had to rein myself in this past 2 weeks because I just wanted to cast on everything that my eyes have seen, and I just had to pull myself together, get a grip, and just wait a bit. I have a big project coming up, so I should not cast on just everything because I feel like it. I mean, I know, do what makes you happy, but I know that I must just wait 1 week. Anyway, so let's move on to see what's been happening, and then I'll catch you up on some other things. Alright, last week's video was my first ever knit and chat video where I talked a little bit about what self-care means to me. Got a few great other suggestions on self-care that people does in the comments, and I'm really grateful for everybody who commented and said some things on that video. So I will link it for you if you missed it, and you can maybe go and have a look if you are interested. Then last Sunday, yes, we had the Scrappy Sunday live chat with our great guest Mariana Miller from Sweet Crochet Dreams, who is a South African designer. And if you're interested, I will also link that for you, and you can go have a look at that if you missed it. We had an amazing time and it was so much fun. We learned a lot and got to know Mariana a little bit better. We really enjoyed it. Alright, then the other thing is that the Crafty Stitches Craft Night is coming up. It will be this Friday, the 10th of March at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time. It will be a little bit different. We're going to try a new platform. We're going to host it on Google Meet. You can send me a direct message on Instagram and I will forward you the link details. Let's see how that works for us. Then just a little personal update. My hand that I hurt is much better, almost back to my old self. So I don't have any pain anymore when I try to crochet or knit, but it did put me behind quite a bit on my own personal goals of what I wanted to do. So anyway, I am trying to catch that up on my scrappy projects, and yeah, I had to slow down a little bit and not cast on everything that my eyes saw because I cannot do it. That is all of the news that I have for this episode. Let's do podcast recommendations. Right, so my podcast recommendations for this episode is Emma Robinson from Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company. She is a natural dyer from Northern Ireland. She makes lots of vlogs and she also does podcasts. And I just love watching her vlogs and podcasts with Rufus, the Bedlington Whippet. He is so cute. And yes, she makes beautiful things. The second one is Annie Hootie Knits. And this is Anina. She is a Finnish designer. She's got beautiful patterns on Ravelry. And I will also link her YouTube channel down below, and you can maybe have a look at those too and see if you might be interested in watching those and maybe supporting them too. That is everything that I have for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my content, and I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.